I'm not even sure why I'm still required to pay on these children, and I don't have responsibility toward them anymore.
We're on the record in Brink versus Hildebrandt, case number 11140050. The record should reflect Ms. Brink is present today by Zoom video. Ms. Krause, can you tell me the status of this file today?
This hearing was adjourned from August 5th to allow the plaintiff to obtain friend of the court forms regarding disability and complete and submit them back before today's hearing. No information has been received regarding her inability to work. The only contact the office has had with the plaintiff is on August 12th when she dropped off a letter requesting to sign off her rights to the child and support to stop. Friend of the court staff did indicate she may need to reach out to probate court to move forward regarding that information. And outside of that, the plaintiff has a support obligation of $197 and a balance of $8,709.16. The last payment was received in February in the amount of $206.47 from a prior income withholding.
Okay, Ms. Brink, why did you not submit those forms as you were ordered to at the last hearing?
I never received them.
Okay.
They were supposed to have been mailed to me.
Did you go in to get the forms?
They were supposed to have been mailed to me. That's why I provided my address at the last court hearing.
Okay. Did you do anything to follow up with that at all?
I mean, it's not really my responsibility when someone doesn't do their job.
Well, it's your responsibility to pay your child support payments, and if you don't pay
But that
those
has nothing to do with the disability paperwork.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with you. We went through this. Yeah, you are, and we went through this at the last hearing. We confirmed your address. We told you
so that they could be mailed to me, which they were not.
They were mailed to you.
And I would like to sign off my rights to my children. And Devin said that he would not fight it. Bill did not fight it. He came and he signed. And when it came time for Devin to sign, he didn't show up. And I have a text message saying that he doesn't want, or that he wouldn't fight me on signing off my rights to Lila or John. So I'm not sure why he didn't sign the paperwork.
So you still are the parent and you still owe the child support.
But I'm requesting the court to terminate my rights to my children. She has a stepmom that can adopt her. I don't want anything to do with her anymore.
Well, there's a process for that, and that process hasn't occurred yet, which means that
I've asked for that process to be started a year ago. This is the second time I'm bringing it up.
Okay. Well, you have to do more than just ask. It's up to you to
well, that's why I had the document written up and by an attorney, and so that Devin would sign the paperwork, and he said he wouldn't fight me, and then he didn't show up to sign it. So I don't understand what the big problem is. Okay,
so how are we going to deal with you paying your child support till that happens then?
I don't know. I have a paycheck coming from Boyne River, and you can have that. Okay. But other than that, I have $34 to my name. My house is for sale, and I'm living in my car.
When are you getting that paycheck?
I don't know. It should be garnished. I probably won't even get a paycheck. It should be garnished by child support.
Do we have an income withholding, Ms. Krause, for any employers with Ms. Brink?
There is a potential income withholding, but it wasn't reported. So outside of her indicating where she's employed today, that process could take 6 to 8 weeks. So I can't guarantee that monies would be withheld from that paycheck.
Yeah, it should be. I've never had a problem with it not being withheld in the past.
Okay, well, we don't have the information from your employer, right, Ms. Krause? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we do. Oh, they reported it.
Hold on, Ms. Brink. Ms. Krause?
An income withholding was sent, but until monies are withheld, we wouldn't be able to indicate if that amount would be withheld. But the employer was not reported. It's pending, so I can't guarantee that the employer received anything.
They did. Okay. They told me.
Well, we haven't received any money from them, so apparently they haven't.
I haven't gotten the check yet. I haven't even been. I get paid every 2 weeks, and I've already lost the job. They already fired me.
So you're not employed. You're not employed is what you're saying.
Not currently, no. I lost the job. I got fired. The bartender didn't like me.
Okay. What about the disability? Where are you at with that?
I filled out all the forms that they requested from me and mailed them back in the timeline that they gave me. But I'm living in my car, so I don't have access to my mailbox anymore. So I have to contact disability today after I get off the phone after I get out of court and report my address to be at my parents' house. Now, there's no guarantee that I'm going to get my mail. My parents don't like me. So there's no guarantee that they're going to tell me that the disability paperwork comes. I'm going to have to, I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't have gas to get to their house. And they have me blocked on the telephone.
Your Honor.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Ms. Krause.
In regards to her being homeless, she may be able to reach out to the local post office. They may have something for her in regards to obtaining a P.O. box, but she would need to check further into that.
Well, I don't have money to pay for a P.O. box.
They may have some options for you regarding if you're homeless right now. I don't know the details in regards to that, but it is some information that friend of the court has received in regarding post offices when people are homeless.
Okay, I'll look into that.
All right. Well, here's Ms. Krause. Has there been how many findings of contempt has there been in this case on Ms. Brink?
This would be a first finding.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Brink,
I'm not in contempt, Your Honor. I have no problem paying it. It's just I can't get a job because I have felonies. No one wants to hire me.
I do
I've already put out more applications. I'm not in contempt, though. I have no problem paying. It's just that I can't get a job. No one wants to hire me.
You are in contempt, first of all. I find specifically that you are in contempt because you aren't doing any of the things that I ordered you to do the last time, and you can't just
Your
say,
Honor,
well,
like what?
Like fill out the forms for your disability.
They weren't mailed to me. How can I fill out forms that weren't mailed to me?
I'm not going to argue
I
about.
called and asked. I called and asked.
Now I'm finding you in contempt for continuing to interrupt me during this court hearing and inhibiting the court's ability to conduct this hearing. You're continuing to talk over me. I'm trying to explain to you.
I asked you a question.
You just told me that you're not getting mail at your parents and there's no guarantee that you're going to get your mail. So how do you know that you didn't get this? We sent it to the address that you gave us.
And I was living there up until Friday.
It's not my problem that you aren't getting your mail. All we can do is send.
I am getting my mail.
Obviously, you're not.
Making sense, Your Honor.
All we can do is send it to you at the address that you give us.
And you didn't.
It's up to you. So you haven't followed through with what you were required to do.
Yes, I did. I called the child support office and asked about it, and they said it was too soon for me to be calling.
I'm mute you now so that I can say what I need to say for the record here, because you're continuing to talk over me and I'm not able to conduct this hearing. So the court adjourned the previous hearing in August to give you an opportunity to submit the forms that were required to be submitted. That's your responsibility to make sure that that's done. We had this colloquy the last time about your address. You gave us an address. That's the address we've been using. If you haven't received the mail, that's between you and the post office and you and whatever is going on with the address that you gave us. All we can do is send out forms. If you didn't get them in the mail, then it was your responsibility to contact the friend of the court, go to the friend of the court, make arrangements to get those forms and fill them out. But that's squarely your responsibility. It's your responsibility to pay child support for your child. That's still your child. Your parental rights haven't been terminated. As far as I can tell, you haven't done anything other than say you want that to happen to make that happen. So you haven't paid child support. You haven't complied with any efforts of the friend of the court to give you options outside of paying child support. So the court finds that you are in contempt because this would be a first finding of contempt. The court finds that you should be sentenced to 45 days in the Otsego County Jail. The court is going to order that you turn yourself in to the Otsego County Jail by 5 p.m. today. That's September 3rd, 2024, to begin serving the 45-day sentence. If you fail to turn yourself in to the Otsego County Jail by 5 p.m. today, then the court will issue a bench warrant for your arrest. Ms. Krause, if you can prepare an order to reflect the willing of the court on that today.
Yes.
All right. That's all for this hearing today. The court's going to disconnect from Ms. Brink at this time.
Two matters involving Chelsea Brink, both friend of the court matters. First one is Chelsea Brink in 2013-15199-DC. And the second one is involving Chelsea Brink. It's 2011-14050-DS. Both of them looks like arraignment cases on failure to pay. So do we have
here, I believe. I didn't show up to court on Monday. My alarm didn't go off by the time I woke up and realized it was too late to join. My attorney did go though, and I did pay $100 towards my child support before that. So that's where I'm at.
all right, let me hear from the friend of the court first. Who do we have speaking on the behalf of these cases, please?
Depends on which case you want to handle first.
You got both, one for each?
Yes.
All right. I guess it doesn't matter. Let's do William Mason, William Mason versus Chelsea Brink, which is the 213 file. As to that case?
That would be me.
All right. What is it that the friend of the court is asking for in this case?
Well, we are seeking first contempt as we received information about a property that Ms. Brink previously disclosed in another hearing has recently sold, and she has not made any efforts to make any significant payments out of available.
I paid.
Or exercise due diligence.
I made a payment of $100. That was all I could afford.
Ms. Brink, you're going to be given an opportunity to have your say. I just need to hear it from everybody at their time to speak so that we're not talking over each other. So this is the friend of the court's turn. I'm going to give you your chance to speak in just a minute. So don't worry. You'll have your opportunity. Let them speak and then I'll let you speak. All right, go ahead.
So the monthly obligation that Ms. Brink has is $202 plus an additional $50 ordered on arrears. The balance on this case is $12,753.72.
All right. Now, Ms. Brink, I'm going to turn to the other case. So we have both of them out on the table first, and then I'll let you have your opportunity as well. So the other case is Chelsea Brink versus Devin Hildebrandt. That's the 2011 file. So Ms. Krause, could you update me as to that one?
Yes, her obligation, she's a plaintiff on that case. Her obligation is $197 a month. The arrearage in this case is $10,209.16. We did recently receive a $100 payment on April 15th for this specific case. Out of that $100, $49.37 dispersed to the case. Chelsea did report an employer on March 30th and also indicated a change in address, but refused to submit that in writing. It was verified at a later date with postal information, but it does appear that she's no longer employed at that employer as of March 27th.
All right. Now, Ms. Brink, this is your opportunity to tell me what it is that you want me to know about all of those things. So go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, well, first, I did make a $100 payment. That was all I could afford at the time. I'm homeless. I've been homeless for quite some time now, so I'm kind of drifting, going where I can. I was working at Italia Gardens, and I'm not sure what happened to be able to explain why they fired me, but they did. He just basically said things weren't going well. I had a workman's comp claim that he didn't want to pay, so there was that. piece of it.
What was the name of the business that you were working at?
Italia Gardens.
And where's that located?
It was in Davison, Michigan.
All right.
So, but that's no longer.
Yep.
And you know, my kids have been out of my life for 10 plus years now, and both of their parents are remarried. My son's been adopted twice. My daughter has been adopted once. I'm not even sure why I'm still required to pay on these children. They're not in my life, and I don't have responsibility toward them anymore. So it seems to me not fair. A lot of this friend of the court totals, you know, the monetary amounts got accumulated while I was in jail for a year. That still hasn't been cleared up, and I doubt it ever will be. But I am making my best efforts. I'm in jail. I'm not sure how long you want to keep me in here, but when I get out, I plan on looking for a job again and starting the whole process over. Like I said, I'm homeless, so it's hard for me.
How long did you work at Italian Garden?
About 6 weeks.
Did you make any payments other than $100?
I reported the income to the front of the court, and they said that they would take it out of the checks. I never even got my last paycheck because I had to come back up north. So that's out there somewhere still. But no, the $100 is all I could afford at the time. I had intentions of making $100 payments every month, you know, from here forward. But right now, you know, that was only a couple weeks ago. What day did she say? The March 20th? Something?
You said you were employed in March, but you're no longer there. You made a payment in the middle of April for $100.
Middle of April, yeah. So it's only been a couple weeks, you know. Not even really. Today's April 30th, so middle of April. I mean, 15 days ago at the most, 2 weeks ago at the most, I made that payment. You know, I'm exhausted because I'm homeless. So not that that's an excuse, Judge, but I've never missed court. Never. I don't do it. I don't miss it. And Larry was there, you know, so I'd rather you just sentence me now so that I know what I have going on moving forward and can be prepared in here for what I need to do.
Well, what you've been telling me is that you can't afford to make payments, as opposed to, yeah, I can't afford to make payments and I didn't do anything.
I can't pay the whole amount. I can't pay the whole amount. I'm homeless. I'm barely making ends meet as it is. You know,
you're not asked to make
from walking. It's hard.
Okay. Have you filed a request to lower your child support based on your current income levels?
Yes, I did. I asked front of the court to mail it to me. They did not do that. They said that they required me to change my address with them on paper, but I was cleared on in Davison, Michigan, and I couldn't get to the courthouse down there. I was on foot, you know, and I couldn't get to the courthouse down there. And to be able to mail in the paperwork that they were requesting. You know, it's on my to-do list, but, you know, I've been traveling, going from place to place, you know, couch surfing and whatnot. So, sleeping in my truck.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
In regards to motions, the conversation that I had with her on March 3rd in regards to asking for case information on both of her cases, the friend of the court did, because the motions didn't have any case specific information, printed out a postal to send to her with those motions to the address that she indicated that she was residing at. So we did do that in regards to previous contact when reporting employment.
I never received them.
We've had discussions in regards to when you start working, payments are expected to be paid when you receive paychecks because income withholdings can take 6 to 8 weeks. But when she does obtain a job, she's usually not there long enough for an income withholding to send money. So there was never any money received from the employer that she reported.
Right, which is why I made the $100 payment. You know, and trying to get my child support, you know, the first $12,000 or so of the back child support is all from when I sat in jail for a year. And that's just not right or fair to me. And actually, it's probably more like 19,000.
Ms. Brink, when was the last time that you were in jail for a year?
2017.
That is.
That's when my child support first became activated. And they did it while I was sitting in jail for a whole year. They accumulated it for a whole year.
Ms. Brink, that's 8 years ago. Even if you were incarcerated in 2008.
I know, but I'm saying I'll never be able to pay that money back. Not at this rate. And I'm trying, Judge. It's not for a lack of effort. I walked the entire main street of Davison and put an application in at every single business. Every single one. Down the street and back the other way when I was living down in Davison. And I have full intention of doing that up here again. And I'm going to go to Traverse City and stay in the homeless shelter or stay in my truck. You know, I mean, who wants to hire a smelly person that's homeless, though? I mean, I'm doing the best I can, Judge. It's hard. I relied on my child support money to pay my bills when I had full custody of my kids, plus work. And when I lost my career, I lost my kids, and that's all my money. I can't do it. I just can't, Judge.
Ms. Brink, the issue is when you were working, you didn't send any money into the front of the court. $100 in 6 weeks is not a payment out of each of your paychecks.
But that's the thing, is that I only got paid 2 times. I didn't get 6 weeks worth of paychecks. I only got 2 paychecks.
Which would have been at least 4 weeks worth of paychecks, right? You got paid every other week?
No, I got 2 paychecks of the whole time. I don't even think I was there 6 weeks. Honestly, I don't. But I only got 2 paychecks the whole time I was there. I promise you, Judge. I wouldn't lie to you about it. I know that we're in court. I'm not going to lie to you. And I didn't even pick up the second paycheck because I had to come back up north.
All right, Ms. Brink. Doesn't sound to me like you believe that you've done anything wrong in this case, so I'm going to set this matter for a hearing.
Judge, I'm saying I know I missed court, and that's why we're here talking about this again. And Larry advised me that you weren't going to pursue jail time or anything like that because I made the $100 payment and I'm putting in effort to find a job again. And
Your Honor, if I could just mention a couple of things. I don't know how much Your Honor knows about the background. I have represented Ms. Brink in the past. Back in I know she said she did a year in jail. Back in 2021. I
went to prison I was locked up for 4 years from 2017 till 2020.
Yes, there was a prison stint. I also have some notes here back from June of 2023. There was an MI petition that was filed as well, just so the court has a better
I don't know that, Larry.
Understanding of what's going on.
All right. Ms. Brink, are you telling me that you want to admit responsibility to failing to appear when you were supposed to?
I admitted to responsibility to that. Absolutely. I screwed up. My alarm didn't go off. I was exhausted. By the time I woke up, it was 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. And I thought, oh, real nice. They're not going to accept me now. And what do I do? So I just didn't go to court, which I guess looking back, I guess I probably should have tried to join in, but I figured the court was closed. And Larry texted me the same day or the next day and said, now you have a warrant. And I said, okay.
All right, Ms. Brink, I'm going to do this. I'm going to adjourn today's hearing for 30 days. I'm going to set a PR bond so that you can be released. The conditions of that are that you have to notify the friend of the court of a mailing address where you will pick up your mail on a regular basis.
Okay.
And so that you know when you're supposed to be in court. The second condition of that PR bond, it's going to be a $500 PR bond.
Okay,
The second condition of that is that you submit 10 applications a week to the friend of the court indicating that you have applied for jobs, and as soon as you are able to obtain a job, that you notify the friend of the court of that.
okay,
The third condition is that once you are employed, you begin to make some payments every paycheck. You're not going to wait for income withholding. You're not going to do anything else. You're going to make some payments on both of these cases every paycheck.
yes,
You
sir.
understand each of those three conditions?
Yes, sir.
All right. So in
I
each,
do have a
in
question,
each,
so. Okay.
hang on, let me finish. In each of these two cases, you will have a $500 PR bond. Okay. So that means if you fail to appear, you'll owe me $1,000 total. You
Okay,
understand that?
yes, sir.
All right.
I don't
Now
have
what
to
is
pay anything
your
today.
question? I'm sorry, repeat that, please.
I don't have to pay anything today to get out?
That is correct.
Okay,
You don't have to pay anything today to get out. I'm giving you a big break here
yes, you are.
because
Thank
you owe an awful lot of money, but I think that you have done something to show me that you're trying. That's
Yes,
the $100, and you've made an admission that you failed to appear, gave me a good reason for it.
right,
But you've got to do better than you have been. You have to
Okay.
find a job that you can stay with. And if you
Yeah.
can't get that one, you got to get one that at least allows you to have a place to live so that you can make regular payments. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
yes, sir, yes, sir.
If you believe that the numbers that the friend of the court says that you owe are wrong,
Uh-huh,
you need to file a motion to have me take a look at it so that I can correct that for you.
all right.
All right? You understand all of that?
Yeah, and when I get out, maybe I can file to see about having my child support adjusted, so to
That's
reflect
correct.
more accurate income.
Yes,
But
but
it's
you
not
need to
so
file the
bad.
paperwork first. File the paperwork with the friend of the court so that I can review it, set a hearing date, and take a look at it.
Okay,
All right?
Thank
That's
you.
all for today then. Thank
I
you very
appreciate
much.
it. Yeah.